This pre-recorded lesson is our lesson on measuring the circumference of a circle. Lesson 12-7. First of all, we need to go over some vocabulary of a circle. O is the center point, the middle, the center of the circle. If you draw a line out from any spot on the O, you'll have the same distance. This circle would be circle 0 because we always name a circle by its center. The circle's center point is O. Line segments include point O. So which ones include point O? That would be PQ because it goes right through O, and OR. OR would be considered a radius because it's halfway. PQ would be considered a diameter because it's all the way through. In this circle, OR, OQ, and OP are all considered radiuses. We call that plural a radii. Another name for a line segment that goes all the way through the middle to the opposite side is considered a diameter. Halfway is a radius. In this circle, PQ is considered the diameter. How do you describe the length of a circle's radius compared to its diameter? Well, obviously radius is half of what the diameter is. The third name of a line segment that's inside of a circle is called a chord. ST would be considered a chord. Another way to name that would be TS. A chord is a line segment that connects 2 points in a circle, but it never goes through the middle. ST is a chord. PQ should not be considered a chord. We're not gonna look that way. Okay, moving on. We need to know diameter and radius before we can move on to talk about how to find the circumference of a circle. In this circle, angle ROQ is called a central angle because it makes an angle that's center is in the middle of the circle. The distance around the whole circle is called a circumference. Another word for the distance around a shape is called the perimeter. Since it's so hard to find the perimeter around a circle, there's a way to, let me back up. There is a way to calculate that. We need to use a formula. I'm going to go back here to the very end. To find the distance around a circle, we would almost have to take a string and lay it all the way around the outside edge and then lay it next to a ruler. But there's an easier way to do that. There's a formula. That formula is you can take the diameter of your circle, the distance all the way across, and multiply it times a number, a special number in math. We call that number pi. Pi is a very long number, although it doesn't mean it's a large number. It's 3.14, and there's lots of digits after that, but we're going to, for the sake of easiness, consider it 3.14. Now, if we're only given the radius, for example, OR, then we have to take that radius and double it before we multiply it times our pi. Okay, let's go back and review some of the vocabulary from our circle. H is our center point. HT is the radius, halfway from the center to the outside edge. DN is considered a diameter. It goes all the way through the center of the circle. EF is a chord. It goes from edge to edge, but it doesn't go through the center. Okay, we are going to move on. So to find the circumference of this circle, we're given the diameter. So we take this 9 and we multiply it times pi. 9 times 3.14 equals 28.26. We have to make sure that the decimal's in there. Now some circles will only be given the radius. So if given the radius, that means we need to double it before we multiply by pi. Let's see if we can take a look at some examples here. Okay, here we go. To find the circumference, or the distance around this whole circle, we're going to take the diameter times 3.14. So using my calculator, 3.14 times 8, the answer is 25.12 inches. 25.12 inches. Now this one is a little bit different because they're only giving us the radius. So the first thing we have to do is we have to take the radius times 2, which is 15 times 2 is 30. Then we can take that total, or that diameter, and we can multiply it times 3.14. So 30 times 3.14. And our answer would be 94.2. Another example with a radius. It's only halfway, so first we have to double it. Double it and you'll get 24. 24 times pi. Remember, here's the symbol for pi. It looks kind of funny. 3.14. So double this. 24 times pi would be the circumference. And the circumference is 75.36 millimeters. Same with this little guy over here. First we need to double the radius, which is 6. Then we can multiply it times pi, 3.14. Our answer would be 18.84. This example is different because we're given the whole distance across, so we don't need to double it. So we simply take this number multiplied times pi, 3.14. And our answer would be 175.84 inches.